Welcome, it's CJ Halleck with Inspector Playbook. I want to start by saying thank you for trusting us with your business. Whether you just purchased a website template or you already have KC's report template, either way, I want to say thank you. That being said, in this video we're going to walk you through installing the website template and building out our website. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so we have the data drop worksheet pulled up on the right. This file is included in the download folder with the website template. So be sure that you get this open and start filling out your information inside of the data drop worksheet so we can take this information when we need to and just copy and paste it into the website. We're going to go ahead and get this filled out. I'm not going to make you sit through this. I'll be back in a second. Alright, so now that you have the data drop worksheet filled out, the next thing we're going to do is actually get started on our website. If you followed along with the hosting video, you should have a fresh install, a brand new install of WordPress. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come under plugins and we're going to click on add new. Once we're here, the next thing we're going to do is click on upload plugin. Then we're going to click on choose file. Once you've located the download folder, simply click on template installer and open that file. Once it gets it in here, we'll click on install now and activate the plugin. Now that that's finished, we'll come down to all-in-one WP migration on the left hand side and we're going to go ahead and click on import. Alright, so I'm on the import section. What you're going to do is come into the website template folder and you're going to look for hiwt.wordpress. It may only display as hiwt if you're on Windows, but this is the actual backup file. We're going to take this and just drag it in right here and drop it in. It's going to take a few minutes to go ahead and upload. Could take upwards of 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through that and I'll be back in a second. Alright, so as you see, we go ahead and get that knocked out. What you're going to want to do is go ahead and click on proceed. And now that it's done, the first thing we're going to need to do is click on permalink settings. This is going to automatically log you out and you'll have to log back in. But this time, because the template is already installed and ready to roll, you'll need to log in with the template login credentials. The username for that is start, all lowercase. So the password for that is hashtag capital D, ELETE, capital M, the number 3, capital N as in November, 0, lowercase w, exclamation mark. This is going to be the same as soon as you install the template for everybody. Don't worry, we're going to go ahead and change that in a second, but first let's go ahead and log in. Now you're on the permalinks page, we're going to come down and click on save changes. Now that that's done, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come into users and we're going to go to all users. What we're going to do is go ahead and click on add new and we'll create a brand new username for this website. So pick the username you want to use, put in the email address, put in your first name, last name, and your website. And now put in a secure password. Make sure this is strong and it registers as strong. I'm going to go ahead and hide this so you guys aren't trying to steal my password. And once you get that done and your password is strong, you'll want to go ahead and come down to the subscriber drop down and make administrator. Make sure you send new user an email about their account. Go ahead and click add new user. And now that you have the new user created, don't worry if you do not have the little image here. We will cover that in a later training. That's a separate platform that you have to sign up with to get the avatar. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and come in the upper right hand corner and we'll go ahead and take this full screen for now. And we're going to come to where it says howdy start and we're going to go ahead and log out. Once we've logged out, we're going to log in with the username information that we just created. And now that we're in here, we need to come back to users and we need to get rid of the default user start. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click on delete. Then this is very important. If you do not follow this step properly, you could lose the content that comes with the actual template. So you want to make sure that you click on attribute all content to, and then it'll show your username that you just created and logged into. Should be the exact same that you see in the upper right hand corner, because of course if you're logged into the start account, it's not going to let you delete yourself while you're logged in. So once you have everything set right, go ahead and click on confirm deletion. Now that you've done that, the next thing we need to do is to start the customization process with the default WordPress customized settings. So we're going to come over to the left under appearance and click on customize. First thing we're going to do is go to the site identity and we're going to remove the logo. Then we're going to go ahead and click select logo, and I'm going to go ahead and upload the logo that I have, and it's already optimized for this. You want to make sure that you have, as you can see here, it says 350 by 100. Try to keep it around 350 max width. The height doesn't always have to match. So that I have that in there uploaded. We're going to go ahead and put on the alt text deal killers, and this is going to be the name of your business logo. You know, whatever your name is, you want to make sure you go ahead and put that in, and I'm going to go ahead and put deal killers logo and go ahead and click on select. And then I'm going to skip cropping so we don't cut any of this out. If it's bigger than the suggested one way or the other, it'll suggest cropping. I'm going to go ahead and click on skip cropping. It's going to automatically replace that in the header or footer or anywhere where I have this logo displayed automatically throughout the entire website, so you don't have to go in and change it anywhere but this one location. Then the next thing we're going to do is the site title. This is going to be your business name. You can add more to it. I would recommend stick with just your business name. If you add anything else to it, I would just probably maybe add the city. And if you decide to do that, it would look something like this: deal killers, and then maybe the vertical pipe, which is the over the inner return button. And then we'll go ahead and put in metropolis state, and that's just to resemble city state. I'm not trying to do anything and rank for anyone's area, so I'm trying to use all fake information and whatnot. So the next thing is your tagline. So I'm going to come in here on the side and we're going to go ahead and copy our tagline. We're going to put that over here. Got the tagline in. Next thing is your site icon. I do have the default icon in there. You feel free to go ahead and keep it if you don't have an icon, or if you don't have the software to make anything, don't have Photoshop or access to anything like that. But if you do, you can go ahead and change that. We're going to go ahead and change that image. I'm going to go ahead and click on upload files, and I'm going to come back over here. And I'm going to drag in the icon that I have. And then I'm going to just come in here to the alt text and put in deal killer icon. And click on select. Alright, so we got the icon in there. So now it has it up in this top left hand corner. Used to be called, back in the old days, showing my age, the favicon. If you're wondering where that is, that's just the replacement of that. Is the site icon. So now that you have that done, we're going to go ahead and click on publish. And then we're going to go ahead and X out of this and get back to our dashboard. And from within the dashboard menu here on the left, the next thing we're going to do is come to pretty links, and we're going to click on pretty links. Then from here, the first thing we're going to need to do is change the home page pretty links. So we're going to go ahead and click edit. And then we're going to come in here and type in the domain for the website. Granted, it may not be there now. Don't worry about that. We're just going to go ahead and type this in. So we're going to go ahead and put dealkillershis.com, and we have that done. We're going to go ahead and click update. It's going to take us back to that page, and we're just going to continue to go down the list. The next thing is to leave a Facebook review, so we'll click edit, and then we'll come over here to the Facebook reviews. We'll go ahead and copy that, and then we'll go ahead and paste that in here. Go ahead and click update. Next thing is leave a Google review. So we'll go ahead and click edit. Come over here to Google reviews. And this is just, I believe this is KC's Google My Business page. I didn't want to create a fake Google My Business page and ruin people's rankings. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, because you can't do a Google My Business page with a fake city. They won't allow that. I tried. So we put in the target URL there for the Google reviews, and go ahead and click update. And this is the reviews. The leave Google reviews is like the actual reviews page, like the link that goes straight to the reviews form. So you want to make sure you get that right link there. And then we have the Google My Business page itself. And of course, these are just from regular searches. I don't have his back end. And I didn't really go in to try to grab that. I just threw this together this afternoon so I can make sure that I get everything the way we need it. And you guys can see the process. So I'm going to go into Google My Business, go ahead and click edit. Same thing here. We're going to go ahead and paste and click update. And then YouTube, we'll edit on YouTube. We'll go ahead and grab the channel here. And we'll paste in, and this of course is just the Inspector Playbook channel. We'll click update. Next thing is LinkedIn. Of course, this is my personal LinkedIn. Feel free to do a LinkedIn page if you want to do a page. If you're a single home inspector, I think it would be best to do the personal. Just for branding purposes, I think it makes you the go-to, and I think that's kind of how KC has built up his name in the areas, because they know KC. They don't necessarily know the business, so he is the brand. I'm going to go ahead and click update on that. Next thing I have here is Twitter. Now, for this example, I'm not doing a Twitter account. If you don't plan on using a Twitter account, then you can skip this step, and I will show you in one of the next steps here in a minute how to make sure that the Twitter icons are removed from your website, all that stuff. So the next thing we have is Instagram. I'm going to go ahead and click on edit. We'll put in the Playbook's Instagram account. If I can highlight it all right. I'm having technical difficulties. Go ahead and copy that, put that in. Update. And then the last thing we have is Facebook. So I'm going to go ahead and click on edit. Go ahead and copy the Facebook page link. And we'll go ahead and paste it in for the target URL. And go ahead and click update. Now that we have the pretty links finished, the next thing to do is custom fields, which is on down the left hand side of this sidebar. Click on custom fields, and then you'll see the website template build. We'll go ahead and click on edit. And this is where you're going to be copying and pasting directly from this sheet. So we're going to start with inspector name, click edit, and then we'll just come in here, and I'm just going to copy and paste on down the list. We'll put that in place of John Doe, Tracy Inspectorson. Come down to business name, click edit. We'll go ahead and grab the business name. Replace your business name with your business name. Hope that made sense. Next thing is your phone number. Click edit. And in this section, it has call us. That's one of these things that we had in the template. Before you put in information, you'll want to make sure you highlight all of that. We'll copy that, and then we're going to go ahead and paste it in here. You could also just type this in if you want. Then of course we'll come down to the link. We'll click edit. phone number link. We'll go ahead and grab this, copy, paste it in here. Primary city, and I apologize if this is taking too long for some of you. I just want to make sure that everyone understands and we move at a regular pace, and I'm not trying to rush through this. So we're going to come into the city next, paste that in. Then we have additional cities. This is another one that you had to fill out extra information inside of it, or there was a template based content. I'm going to go ahead and copy all of that, and we'll replace this. And then we're going to come on down to the core values, and this is the area. I already have the bullets here. It is one of those things you got to hit like Alt, like 4 numbers or something like that on your keyboard in order to get the bullets. So I already have that in, so all you need to do is to come in and actually just pick these sections and retype it, or if you already did that in the data drop worksheet, you can go ahead and just copy those now. And we'll go ahead and paste these in. Next thing is your mission statement. We'll go ahead and click edit. Come over here and we'll grab this, copy, and then we'll come over to the default value for the mission statement, paste that in. Next thing is your primary review. This is going to be the main review, your #1 review that showcases on the homepage that leads to your reviews page. So you want to make sure this is a decent review, not really long. I would only, even if it is originally a super long review, take a headline out of it, use that, and then you can also put it in on the back end in the reviews page as the full review if you want to at a later time. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. We're going to come over here and I'm going to paste in that review. Then we're going to come down to the next one is the primary reviewer name. We're going to click edit, remove this. I'm going to go ahead and type that in, it'd be faster. Gary G. Then we're going to come into PR city. We're going to put the city of the reviewer. So I'm going to go ahead and put Metropolis State. And then sample report link. If you're doing the sample reports, this is where you'll want to make sure that you have your, if you will, for example, your Spector link to your sample reports page or whatever your software is. To display that, you'll want to go ahead and have that. We'll come in here and I'm just going to go ahead and paste that in. And now that we have that done, we're going to come back to the top. We're going to click update. Now that we've done that, the next thing we're going to need to do is come over to Elementor, or under Elementor rather, to templates and click on theme builder. First thing we're going to need to do is click on edit with Elementor for the header. And now the first thing we're going to need to do is go ahead and make sure that this the Twitter icon is gone. So we're going to click on the pencil and we're just going to X out the Twitter account. You don't have to do anything else. And this is only if you have a social media site that is listed and displaying that you do not use and don't have a profile for. Other than that, we'll leave everything as it is. If you want to go in and change the coloring and things to that nature, you can. We're going to cover that in a future training, or for a crash course, you can just click the pen, go into style, and you have all your color information here. And then if you want it to change colors when you hover, you can use that. But we want to make sure we get through this. You guys can dig deeper into Elementor later. I will have step-by-step complete walkthroughs of each element coming soon. Be sure to check on inspectorbranding.com as I continue to roll out the trainings. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and come down here and click on update. Then we're going to come into edit footer. And once we're in the footer, the only thing we really need to do here, obviously you see phone numbers already been changed out. We have your information already put in here with the city and the areas you serve. You have the social media icons here. So if you don't use Twitter, once again, you'll want to make sure you remove the Twitter icon here. Other than that, the last thing we need to do is to upload your certifications. This is a tricky step because there's different things that some people would like on their website. If you want to be able to link out to, let's say, InterNACHI's page to verify that you're InterNACHI certified, you'll want to do something like this and just replace this image with different badges. And if you want to do that, all you would need to do is click on the image, and then you simply just come in here. Then you would upload the files, drag in, or just click select files to find those images, and then you can change that out. And then once you have the image in, all you would need to do is come to the link, custom URL, and then you can put in your InterNACHI certified link or whatever it is right there. If you don't really care about the link outs, but you want to display all of your certifications and you want to do it in a clean, neat way, little slider effect, that's what we're going to do right now. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just X this out to get rid of that entire section, and I'm going to come in and open a new section, and we're going to put it full width. This is a quick introduction into Elementor with the very first thing you're really digging into in the design phase. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to come click on these little 6 or 9 dots, blocks, whatever you want to call it, up here in the corner. And first thing we're going to do for the search widget is image. And then you'll come down and see the image carousel. So we're going to drag this in. And then you're going to go ahead and click the plus sign for the images. And what we're going to do is inside of the bonuses, we'll go ahead and click select files. Or inside of the download file, you'll see the bonuses folder. We'll open that up. And then you'll see I do have, for those of you who are InterNACHI certified, I do have a lot of the InterNACHI certifications here ready, pre-optimized and ready for you to go ahead and upload. Signed off, good to go, cleared it with Nick, everything's ready. Now that it's all selected, I'm going to go ahead and click open, and it's going to go ahead and upload all of those images. And you see you have all the different InterNACHI certifications here. Once they're all in, you'll see they have the little check marks, and you can go ahead and bring in other certifications or different things that you want in that area. If you're part of a networking group or something that you want to put in there, that'd be a great spot for it. Once you have everything in, we'll go ahead and click on create new gallery. And now you'll see all the different certifications and different badges here. You can drag these around very easily if you want to just change how what you put first. You may want to put mold up first if that's a big money maker for you, or radon, I know is up there. Whatever you have, go ahead and get that filled out. Then we'll go ahead and click on insert gallery. Now that that's in there, all you need to do is go ahead and customize and make it look however you want it to look. First thing I'm going to go into is the slides to show. We'll go ahead and put this up to 5. Gets it looking nice and crisp. You can do more if you want. Let's see what 6 looks like. Yeah, we can go ahead and do 6 for now. You can do a navigation with arrows and dots if you want just the arrows. You can use just the dots, or you can just go ahead and make none and just have it rotate through the images if you want, which is what we're going to do. Keeps it nice and clean. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and click on update. Now that we've done the header and the footer for the website, the next thing we're going to need to do is go back into our dashboard. Let's close that window out. We're going to go back, exit to our dashboard. And you're going to see license mismatch, and that's perfectly fine. We need to wait until we attach our domain before we go ahead and upload or update the license that you have for Elementor's page builder. So we're going to go right back over here to the theme builder, and we're going to go into the blog page, which is home inspection blog. You'll want to make sure it's the archive type, and go ahead and click on edit with Elementor. And there's nothing that you necessarily have to do here, But if you want to change anything on this page as far as the static content, the stuff that stays the same, which is basically this background image here, if you want to do a custom written message here, change welcome to our blog, whatever the case may be, you can do that here. As far as these blog posts that are already here and adding new blog posts, that's a different section of the website. You do not change that here. Once again, you do not do blog posts on the blog archive page, which is what we're looking at right now. We'll get to those in a second. If you have anything to change, you can go ahead and change that here and click update. If not, we're going to go ahead and come on back to the dashboard. And we'll go ahead and go back to the actual dashboard of the dashboard. And before I go any further, I need to go into a quick disclaimer. As far as the legal pages that are on the website, they are templates. We are not lawyers. You should not take anything we have as legal advice, aside from saying you should get an attorney if you want to use the legal documentation that's there and want to make sure it's done properly. It always helps to have legal advice and seek legal counsel. Neither myself or KC is an attorney and should ever be listened to for anything legal-wise. And a couple more little small disclaimers and we'll get back to it. The content and images that are included in this template, you have to keep in mind is a template. So anyone who purchases this template will have the same content out of the gate. So it is highly recommended that you customize this template and remember the word template as you add content. You want to make sure that you make it your own. So images can be customized, the text can be customized, you can add colors to it and a lot of different things to customize the site. You need to do that and make sure that it doesn't blend in with everyone else who has the template, who decides to take the lazier way and not touch anything after the initial install. The next step is going to be a page-by-page walkthrough. The last disclaimer in this section is to let you know we're going to go through the pages, and you can get there by just clicking on pages on the left-hand side. We're going to go through these pages one at a time. In this process, we're going to do it as it shows up on this page to make sure that we don't skip anything, accidentally miss a page, and end up with a headache later on down the line. So what I'm gonna do is actually come into Edit with Elementor for each page. As I get to that page, I'm gonna come to right here and I'm gonna right click and just put Open in New Tab. And then I'm gonna just click over and work on it here so I can go right back to the Pages tab once I'm finished with the page. So we're going to come in, anything that you want to change, you'll see here inside of the different things. You can come in, click on the text. Over here on the left hand side, you have all the information that you need to fill out and change. Everything is set. It's got a very basic pre-design, if you will. You can continue to add to this, change out some images to get it however you want it to look. But for right now, I want to cover the most important thing that most home inspectors have asked me about, and that's SEO. So as you go through your pages and you're thinking about SEO, you want to come up here to this little box again to get all these elements pulled back up. And in the top right hand corner of this inner little menu, you want to click on SEO. This is where all of the information is that tells you how to make sure that you get this closer in the 90s up closer to the hundreds. If you do get it closer, you'll realize a lot of these things will go from red X's to orange to green to unfilled green to a solid green. Like, it has different things, and you'll see as you go along the way. Because this is just the install video, I will have other training going deeper into the SEO breakdown for Rank Math, but for right now, just know, listen to what this says, follow along with it. If you're not sure what it means, you can click this question mark and it will have a little bit of information here. And of course, you can always go to Rank Math and take a look at Rank Math's website and tutorials for all the stuff that goes on within their plugin. That being said, if you go through here and everything seems to be good, and of course you can see your SEO title doesn't contain a number. This is all stuff, it's a basic optimization. I didn't fight to try to get 100 on everything because this is template content. You don't want me to optimize all the way out for the exact same thing for everyone. I kept it basic so you guys can go in and customize it, tweak it, and make it your own. That being said, the last part of the SEO is going to be your what we'll call the metadata. So we'll go ahead and click on this, or you can click on edit snippet, and you'll get a basically preview of how your page will load inside of Google. Then the first section is your title. And the second section is your permalink, which is basically the link of the actual page itself. Most of the time for this, it would be dealkillershis.com/pre-purchase-home-inspection. These are not important to make sure, well, it doesn't look professional to have all those hyphens. This is more for the SEO. You do not want to have a lot of words together without hyphens in between it. Google may not be able to pick up the exact words that you're wanting it to say. So make sure that you add hyphens, keep it as short as possible, and keep it tied to your keyword if at all possible. Next thing is your description, and of course it has the character limit. You want to make sure you fill that out and get it closer to green as possible. Once you're finished, you'll just X that out, and of course this right here is where you enter in your focus keyword. The numbers, everything is geared towards this keyword that I have in for each of these pages. So as you optimize through the pages, you want to make sure that you just keep that in mind. If you just exit this out and you go in and put pre-purchase inspection, you're going to get a different grade. It's because pre-purchase home inspection breaks it up, and it's not pre-purchase inspection is the focus keyword. So you just want to keep that in mind as you go through and optimize and work on the pages. That being said, whatever you did, you want to make sure that you always update. So we're going to come down here and click on update. Now that we've gone through the heavy set of this stuff, we're going to come down to pages. The next thing we have is about. We're going to right click, open this in a new tab, make this easy. And now it's just coming in. Of course, you see Deal Killers is automatically here. Your tagline's automatically here. City, state. There's a basic about home inspection type content that's already here for you guys. Of course, I would highly recommend coming here and adding this plus sign and add some content. You can come in and add, text blocks. You can come in with the text editor and drop that in. There's a lot of different things that you can do. I'm going to go ahead and delete that for now. To customize this specifically for you and your business, you want to make sure that you can do that. The image, if you have an image of yourself, you can come in here and hit the plus sign or the pencil sign to bring up the image. You can click on the image, upload files. So I'm going to go ahead and drag in Tracy Inspectorson here, which is going to be the profile picture, if you will, the headshot that we're going to have on the about page. You may want to picture your family, whatever it shows more personal, side of things. Go ahead and put in Tracy Inspectorson. All right, we have the alt text in. Put your name in, whatever. We'll get that in there. So now you have your headshot in. Of course, this is just placeholder content because this is not going as a live website. Otherwise, you wouldn't want logos right here and your name written on the image. Just put a headshot up. Other than that, like I said, you can come in. You have your mission statement here, which is automatically populated from the custom fields section that we filled out at the beginning of the video. Once you finish here, we'll go ahead and click update. We'll come back to the pages, and along the way, if you're opening these in new tabs, feel free to click the X button and close out after you update. Next thing we're going to get to is the blogs page. Now, because you edit this section inside of the templates, if you remember inside the theme builder, we did that a second ago, you're not going to ever touch this page here. SEO details for the index page of your blog post, or your archive page rather, is not that important. So we're not even going to worry with that. We're going to move to the next section, which is your code of ethics. Now, this is a very basic page. You're not going to do this in Elementor. You don't need it looking fancy. It's legal information. Likely, there's not going to be a lot of people that will actually go through and read and worry about how this page looks because it is legal information. So you can come in here. I'm going to go ahead and right click here and open this in a new tab. And it's just edit page. We're going to go ahead and X this out. And it works just like a regular word processor. So you can type in here, or you can come in, right click, paste. which is what I highly recommend. Whatever code of ethics you're working with, if you're using InterNACHI's code of ethics, whatever the case may be, you would go ahead and paste in your code of ethics here and make sure you click update. This is not for an operating home inspection company, and I don't want to make people think that it is, so I'm not putting any technical information on this. So I'm going to go ahead and click update, even though I didn't do anything, and we'll say that we pasted in our code of ethics, and we'll go ahead and go back to pages and move on to the next page, which is component life expectancy. And you're just going to see it's very basic, nothing fancy in it. We have the title at the top and then just a fancy spreadsheet style information about all the different things in a person's house. I'm not going to change anything on this page. It's ready to roll, so we're going to back on out. Then we're going to come on down to the contact page, and this one's very important because you want to make sure if people click that contact page that information comes to you, so you want to make sure you pay attention to the section. Of course, you can customize this information just like you can on any page, but the one thing we need to do is come into the contact form. We're going to click this pencil and we're going to come into email, and you're just going to change this email information out. So we're going to go ahead and put the from email, Tracy@dealkillershis.com. And it'll automatically fill the reply to field. And then right here is where the email will go. You can go ahead and do the same thing, or if you want to put the dealkillershis@gmail, we can go ahead and do Gmail as well. So we'll just punch that in there. The from name is what's displayed when you get the email. So right now it's just website contact form. So if you wanted to, you can go ahead and remove this. We'll put this as Deal Killers, and then subject line, new message from Deal Killers. Actually, we're gonna have fun with this and just put someone wants a grill. Alright. And that's only, I don't know if you've been following the tagline I put in there, but if we don't kill your deal, we'll welcome you home with a free grill. So why not? Alright, so we got that in there. Make sure you have the email set up properly. You get the reply to, the from field, and then the to field. All of those need to be filled out. Once that's done, go ahead and click update, and then we'll go back to the pages page, right? Yeah, that's the way to word it. And then you just come through and continue to go through frequently asked questions. We'll go ahead and do the edit with Elementor. We'll open a new tab. This is one thing that you need to make sure you pay attention to, is you don't want to add new FAQs to the homepage. There is a FAQ section on the homepage with these questions already there. If you do change something in the questions that are currently here, you will have to change it on both pages. But when it comes to adding additional FAQs, you want to make sure that you do that on the FAQ page itself, so they can come in and browse it all and the homepage is not bombarded with a bunch of questions. In order to do that, you would just select which question you have. If you want to edit it, click on it and type in the information. If you need to add a new question, you would just simply click add item, change the title, and then fill in the content here. I'm going to go ahead and X that out because I don't need an additional FAQ for this. So now that we have any FAQ changes we're going to make, let's go ahead and click on update and go back to the pages page. As I go through these pages, you want to make sure that you also go through the SEO in the process. I'm just going through the designs and whatnot right now. We will obviously come back and do some SEO, but all the SEO on page stuff is something that's going to take a while to actually go through and explain and everything else, and that's not something we're covering in the template that in depth. The main thing is to make sure you just get those green check marks and follow along with what Rank Math tells you to do. Next thing we're going to do is go to the full home inspections. Full home inspection page. As you see, it's pre-set up with these 6 basic services that we have: pre-listing, pre-purchase, mold, 11-month radon and thermal imaging. If you would like to rearrange any of these, all you would need to do is basically come here and you can drag these around. We'll put this one back down here. Maybe, there we go. And so now you have it this way. If you wanted to move radon up with mold, you can do that as well. We'll pull thermal imaging back. We'll put 11 month over here. And thermal imaging here. All right, so once you get through this, of course, you want to customize any information that you see that you would like. We'll go ahead and click update. And I didn't open this in a new tab, but I'm going to go ahead and click back. I know it'll get me there. So as we come through, you'll just basically come, and that's all we're doing is going through each individual page, making sure it's solid. Quick side note. For anybody who is redesigning a website, as you go through these pages, you want to make sure that you take note of the URLs that are currently on your live website. For example, if you come into full home inspection, and we'll go ahead and just right click and view this page and go ahead and just pull this up. Of course, all this is your temporary URL. Imagine this is yourdomain.com, right? This is this services page, quote unquote. But services itself is not a fun word when it comes to home inspections. It's not something that's going to get searched. People aren't just searching services in hopes for home inspections. So I wanted to make sure that you had home inspection in the title. So we have full home inspection as this services page. Now, if your current website has the services page as services, then you need to do one of two things. You're going to either want to come in here and change this to services, or you can keep this as full home inspection. But if that's the case, you would need to go in and do a redirect, and there's a plugin called Redirection. It's a free plugin that lets you redirect URLs the proper way in the back end for this scenario. So you want to make sure that you set that up, and honestly, your best bet would be to go ahead and change this full home inspection into whatever your services page is, or if your about page is about hyphen business name or about us or whatever it is, you want to make sure that the new website links that come with the template fit, the permalinks fit what your old website is. So in order to do that, as you're coming in, and we'll do the FAQ page for example, you would come into this section, and if you come back into the SEO section, we'll open this up, and then here's your permalink. So if your permalink for the FAQ page on your main website was FAQ page, then you would want to come in here and add the hyphen and then add page or whatever the case may be. I'm not doing that now because that's not the case, but you want to make sure the permalinks now match the old permalinks. If you want to do additional things, additional pages to capitalize on keywords, feel free to do that. You can have as many pages as you want. Just be reasonable and understanding that people are not going to want to come through and flip through a book of different pages discussing the exact same information. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and click update. Now that we have that done, and a little bit of a walkthrough as far as the redesigns, we're going to continue to go through. Of course, the next one we have is the homebuilders 11 month. We're going to click edit with Elementor. Same thing here. Change the information if you want to change it. If not, it should be good. If you want to go ahead and run with it for now and continue to change and evolve over time, you can do that. It's not a problem. Next thing is thermal imaging. Same thing with thermal imaging. Mobile landing page is a tricky one because I didn't tell you about it. This is something I've not really pushed much, if you will, inside of the discussions in the group or in the sales page or anything like that, because it's just a little added bonus. I did count the page as a page count, but what it is. So basically, if you open this up, you'll see it's a very basic website page similar to Linktree, if you're familiar with Linktree. What this does, and of course it looks funny because it's on the computer. This is not made for the computer. This is made, and that's why it has the URL mobile-landing-page. You want to change that first of all, of course, but what this does is gives an easy way for you to have a URL in platforms like Instagram, where you're not allowed to put links in all your posts. You can reference link in bio, and then if they come here, they automatically can connect with you in any way possible. Like, you can visit the main website here, which this is what all the pretty links that we did changes here. It changes in the header, footer, all that. And then of course it has follow us on Twitter. If you want to get rid of that, you can come in here and just edit with Elementor, and then come through and change whatever you need to change. Of course, it has buttons here. You have visit our YouTube. Colors might not match up, so you may need to go ahead and change the color. So we can go ahead and delete Twitter, visit our YouTube channel, and I'm going to go ahead and change this over to secondary. Nope, it wasn't secondary. I had it as accent. There we go. And these colors can be changed individually. If you want to change the entire thing, and I'm going a little off, but this is all internals of Elementor, which is a massive beast and gonna have to be covered in many videos going forward after we get the website launched as a core base, because there are so many different things that can be done inside of Elementor. I can go on for hours and hours and hours and never even scratch the surface. So inside of these different things, if you wanted to, you can click this right here and click on I believe it's site settings. Yeah, you can just come in here and change global colors. And if you wanted to change the primary, as you see, oh, boom, it automatically changes that, but it changes the primary that's set throughout the entire website on everything. So if you're just wanting to custom design this specific page, you don't want to do this with the primary here. I'm going to go ahead and put that back to black. You would want to basically, inside of the page itself, you can come into the, well, let me get out of the kit settings. That would help. Discard. And so inside of each button, of course, like I showed in the header section, you would just come to style, and then you can change the colors here individually, and it won't change for everything. And then of course you can always change them back through the global colors here. If you like the red, let's say, if you have a specific color, and of course you can use color codes here if you know a specific like hex code. So let's say we have that, right? If you really like that and you're like, I'm gonna use that color everywhere on my website, then you literally would just click on it and then hit this plus sign, and it adds that color in, so it's easy for you to use this color over and over again. So you can call this, let's call this DK Red, and click create. So now you can come in, and then now you have your brand colors right here, easy to go over and pick and change, and makes it easy to go through. And then of course, if you have the color already selected, then all you would need to do is right click on the little pencil tool thing here and click copy. And then here's a trick. You can now come in and right click and paste style, and it automatically will change that color across the way. And you can do this on any of the different styles and different things that you can do, font style and things like that inside of posts, pages, and things of that nature. So we'll go ahead and finish with that last one. I'm going to go ahead and click update. And we'll go back to the pages, and I'm going to go ahead and close these back out. And now that we've done the mobile page, we have mold testing. That's another one that's complete. Change what you want. I'm going to open this, but I'm not going to get to our reviews page yet. We're going to get to that in a second. Pre-listing, same thing, pre-created, completely finished. You can go in and edit, customize it, make it yours. But for right now, I don't need to go in there and change anything for this template. I'm not going to bore you with it. Privacy policy is something, this is a WordPress.com template legal page. It is a very important page to have, especially with privacy issues and everything else. You need to have all this stuff put in place and displaying properly. So we have the basic information. Of course, you can come in here if you don't want to use the short codes. I've built some short codes in with a WordPress plugin to help automate all of this. But for this, you can come in and remove this and put in Deal Killers HIS or whatever your domain is, or you can just leave it and it'll automatically replace that. Of course, come down here, has information about your SSL and how basically the WordPress platform handles data as people visit the website, tracking information with analytics and, things of that nature. It's not huge, but it is a very important piece that you need to have on your website. So I'm going to go ahead and X this out. There's nothing inside of it that you need to change. Just wanted to cover some of that information. Of course, the next thing is your front page. We'll get into that one here in a second as well. We'll open that in a new tab. Radon testing, don't need to touch anything there. Resources page, we'll go ahead and open that up. Sample report, you can customize this if you want. We'll need to do the schedule inspection. And if you go to the second page of pages, you have the standards of practice, which is going to work the same as the code of ethics. So you literally can just edit that up or open that up to edit it and paste in the standards of practice, whether it's from your state, depending on your state's recommendations or requirements, or if you're using something from, say, Internachi or one of those types of companies. So next thing I'm going to come into here, going backwards, I'm going to start with the schedule your home inspection page. We do have the button set up, call information's here. You can add more content if you want. I would highly recommend against it. This is one of the most important things when it comes to marketing and sales and things of that nature from websites. You want to make it as simple and easy as possible when it gets to the point of them requesting to do business with you. So having all 500 words of content up here just to try to rank for SEO is useless. You want to use the other pages to rank and drive all your traffic here, because in the end, if they're clicking on the schedule inspection page, you want them to go ahead and get scheduled and get their information in the system. So if they do come across anything where they might have questions, you're already in the front of their mind and you're already there working with them. So in order to embed your scheduling for your scheduler, I don't have a schedule code because I don't want to put someone else's information here and cause issues, with KC's schedule, that type of stuff. But you would simply come in and paste in your code here. It's going to look something similar to this here. As far as if you're using Spectora, I'm not familiar with the other software. I've not used a scheduler from them before in doing websites. But with Spectora, you just put in, it'll look just like this, but this section right here, it says X, or inspection schedule page X, would basically just be, I think it's something like spectora.com / and then your username, I believe, and then like / scheduler or something like that. But you can get that from the back end of your Spectora account, and you would simply just paste this in here. Click update, and then that automatically puts in the code that lets you have the scheduler here on your website. Backing up to the next one is your sample reports page. Of course, you can always customize more information. This only has the one link that we put in the custom field section earlier in the video. But remember, you always want to make it as easy as possible. If you can do a screenshot or something like that to add here, just to add some visuals to make them want to click that button and go get more information, I would recommend that you go ahead and do that as well. It wouldn't hurt. So we'll move on to the next one, which is our resources page, which currently only has the sample inspection report and the component life expectancy, which is fine. If you want to add more, it's very easy. All you need to do is go into each section and right click and duplicate, and you can go in and have 3 across here. You can right click in the intersection and duplicate the intersection, giving you 2 rows. If you wanted to go ahead and go back down, we can delete these. You can have it set up with 3 across, 2 on the bottom, however you want it to look. And I'm going to actually leave that there so you guys can kind of see a play on how that works. And we'll go ahead and move this one over, break those images up a little bit. And it's all the same thing here on this page, but this is just an example website. I didn't want to go deep into anything that's going to actually, cause issues for someone else. I just want to make sure that's out there. And I'll get into that stuff in the header. I'm going to put a little disclaimer up and whatnot once this is finished. But other than that, you'll finish the resources, get whatever you need to get changed there, added, whatever. We'll click update. Now that we've done that, the next one we're going to do is our reviews. And this is going to basically be 2 different ways that you can display your reviews. You have this slider, which is really cool, and it works the same way as the FAQ page. Basically, is you just open it up, You can put in the name, you can put in, I wouldn't do the custom icons. You have the stars set in place. You can type your review out, put the name. You can use a title if you wanted to do a title, maybe put the city name there if you wanted to do like the date, if you wanted to do like, November 2021 or whatever the case may be. And these will slide through all of the slides that you have here, which basically there's 5 currently put in. So if you look at this, and there's arrows, of course, that you can change for the navigation, and it's not going to let me do it because I'm in the back end. But it slides through, rotates, and then we have this main section here, which is allowing you to basically do the same. You just come in, change out the content, title the same way as before, and then these are just basically 5-star icons that I have set with the Font Awesome icons. If you don't like any of this, of course, you can always just click the X button and get rid of one, get rid of them all if you just want to do that. If you don't want to use this section, of course, you can just right click here and delete the slider, and then just have the 6 reviews that you have listed here. Whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. And of course, you can always take one of these, bring it up in this box, and then put the full review, if you will, for your hero review if you just did a headline. Whatever the case may be, however you want this laid out, this is a base template with nothing set in stone. Remember, you can customize this and make it yours however you want it to look. Just remember to keep it as simple as possible and don't try to overdo it. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and click update. And now I'm back to the home page, which technically should have been done earlier in the step, but I wanted to save this one for last, just to basically kind of go over a few things so you guys can see how this actually lays out. Of course, you have the background image can always be changed, just like before when you're changing colors on buttons. Anything visually is normally under the style section here on the top left hand side. And as you click on that, of course, you'll see where the background image is here. If the image is really bright and you are very dark and you have light writing or dark writing and you want to change it, you can do a background overlay, which you can basically just grab a color if you want. We can put that to red and have a color overlay there. We can go black and make it look kind of like darker. Go back to it, I lost it. And then you can change how it fades in and out here and get that look however you want it to look, right? It's totally up to you, but that's just another option. And like I said, we'll cover deeper into using Elementor and how that works moving down the line. The next thing is going to be your headline. This is one of those advanced custom fields thing that we did. Of course, it's preset to fill that out. Text information. Of course, right here we can go ahead and choose image, and we're going to go ahead and put Tracy Inspectorson on there. Of course, you get the 3 blog posts that are default already set up for you guys. Client reviews. The main reviews goes to reviews page. Services, you can come in here, change this information out, move it around if there's specific areas or different things that you want to highlight first. You can do all of that right here. Back to the FAQs page, mission statement, a small why choose us, and then of course at the bottom it starts with your footer going through the certifications pages. So going back to pages, we have officially gone through all of the pages. Now there's a few last minute things that we need to do in making sure that this is 100% set up right to not only perform, but to make sure it performs at top speed and as best as possible. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come down on the left-hand side to WPCF editor. And what we're gonna do, and you wanna make sure you pay close attention and don't mess up on this either. We're just going to take the 256, we're going to leave the M in, and we're going to put 1024. And click on save. Click update, and done. Now that that's finished, one last thing, we're going to go into settings and go to general, and we're going to reset the administrator email address. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete this and put in the new email address, and it will not actually go through until it's confirmed. And because this is the administration email address, it's not publicly displayed, but it's something that you will need to gain access back to the website. It's very important for updates and notifications. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put in the Gmail address that we created earlier. Now that that's finished, we'll come down. Of course, if you want to change the time zone, it's set to Eastern Standard Time. You can go ahead and change that. Of course, when I say set, it's set to New York, but you can go in and pick a different city or pick the actual proper time zone you're in. Click on Save Changes. And now that we've done that, we can come up here. You always want to check the updates at this point. See, there's 3 that need to be updated. You have ACF, All-in-One, and Breeze. Before we get into doing those updates, the one thing we do need to do that I almost forgot is we need to come into plugins and we need to get rid of, because we do not need it anymore, All-in-One WP migration. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to All-in-One. I'm going to go ahead and deactivate that. And then we're going to delete the Akismet anti-spam and All-in-One WP migration. And then delete the Hello Dolly. And now we're good. So now that those are done, we'll go back to the updates and update these 2 plugins. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open up the new site, and we're going to just glance through the pages. This is not something I'm going to go full into detail now, but you'll want to go through each page, check the links. If you click Facebook, make sure it opens up. It takes you to the Facebook page. Make sure you have that information in right. Of course, you'll come through, make sure that your core values are in, make sure the words are spelled right. Make sure your quotes or your reviews are in. Just go through each page, look over everything, and make sure it's how you want it displayed publicly with punctuation and all that stuff. Once you're finished and you go through and you make sure the website's good to go and you're ready to launch, the next thing we're going to need to do is actually assign the domain. So in order to get started with that, we're going to need to pull up our Cloudways account. Alright, so I am in the application management section of the Cloudways account. What we're going to need to do here, first things first, is we're going to need to grab this public IP address, and we're going to click on that to copy it. We're going to need this in order to tell the domain where to go when someone pulls it up. So we're going to go over to HostJack and get logged into our account there. Alright, so once you're logged into your HostJack account, what you're going to need to do is come down to Domains, and we're going to click on Manage All. Then we're going to click on dealkillershis.com, or your main domain, and this is going to open up the domain information. We're going to come down to the bottom right hand side of the page and click on Manage DNS. Then what we're going to need to do is come into this one little pencil section here, and we're going to change this points to what our IP address is. It's likely it may say points to parked or something like that. I believe I already had the IP address changed for a different video that messed up prior to the final changes in the template, but you just need to make sure that points to field for the @a record points to the IP address that we pulled from Cloudways just a second ago. Once you're done with that, click Save. And now it's going to start, if you will, propagating or putting that information out across the internet. While that goes and takes place, we're going to go back into our Cloudways account, and we're going to go ahead and come down to Domain Management, and then we're going to enter in the primary domain. Once you enter in your domain, go ahead and click on Save Changes. The next thing we're going to need to do is click on SSL certificate. You're going to want to keep it on Let's Encrypt. Then fill out your email address and domain name. Make sure that the email address is the email address that you registered the domain with. So more than likely it will be the Gmail address that your HostCheck account is signed up under. So we'll put in the email address and then type in the domain name. Once that is done, go ahead and click on Install Certificate. This may take a few minutes. Go ahead and grab a coffee. I'll be right back. Alright, so it says the SSL is installed. I believe it skipped a step for me, so if it shows a pop-up asking you if you want it to force to the SSL, make sure that you click yes that you do want it to force. I don't know why it didn't show the pop-up for me. They may automatically be doing that off the, from the get-go now, which is fine if they do. But if you do see that pop-up, you want to make sure that it does force the SSL redirect. If it is set up properly, we should be able to open up a new window and go ahead and type in https:// and then type in your domain. So we're going to put in dealkillershis.com. And there we have it. The website is launched. So the last thing we need to do is activate Elementor. And in order to do that, we're going to need to log back in. So we're going to go ahead and put a /wp-admin. And that's going to take us to our login page. And then we're going to put in the login information for this site. And go ahead and click on login. Now that that's live, you'll go ahead and click on reactivate license. We'll click on disconnect. Don't worry, it won't break the site. And then we'll go ahead and click on connect and activate. Of course, for this to work, you need to be signed into your Elementor account. If not, it will automatically take you to sign in. So go ahead and sign in with the account that you have from when you purchased the Elementor license. Then go ahead and click on activate. Now that you've done that, we're going to come up to Breeze and click on Purge All Cache to make sure any caching issues that might be lingering around is gone. Then we're going to Deal Killers, open a new tab, and just like that, you have a website. Again, I want to say thank you so much for trusting us with your business. I hope the template works well with you. If you have any questions, you can always reach me inside of the Inspector Playbook Master Group. You can DM me directly on my personal accounts at CJ Halleck on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can also reach me via the Inspector Playbook accounts, such as the Facebook page and Instagram. And once again, of course, inside of the Inspector Playbook Master Group. Thank you again. I'll catch you at the top.